You've seen my eastern helix in previous videos. Today I want to show you the western helix on my N-scale layout and how I constructed it. That's coming right up. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. I have two helices on my layout. I built the first one in 2014. I call it my eastern helix because it takes eastbound trains down to staging. This helix is hidden behind fascia. It is the one I'm thinking of ripping out because it is difficult to access the track inside of it. I built my second helix in 2015. I call it my western helix because it takes westbound trains down to staging. It is an open helix and the track in it can be easily accessed in the event of a derailment. Today I want to talk to you about the second helix, the western helix, and how I built it. This is what the two helices look like. Both have a gradient of 2%, both take trains down 8 inches to staging, both are double tracked. The eastern helix is circular and the western helix is oval. But most importantly, the eastern helix is hidden behind fascia and the western one is open. I like the western helix because I can easily access the track and I can watch the trains as they ascend or descend the helix. Unfortunately, I didn't film any videos as I was constructing the western helix at first, but at least I did take some photos of the construction in progress, and I would like to show you these photos. Later on, I did film the construction of the upper level of the helix, and I will show you that in a moment. Naturally, I began by constructing the supporting benchwork. Note that the lower level is a desk for my MacBook. Also note that a bridge connects the western helix with the existing construction. As you see in this photo, I have made progress on the connecting bridge and on the Masonite backdrop at the bridge. On the peninsula itself, I've installed plywood for the lowest level of the helix and vertical supports for the middle and upper levels. Here you can see that I've installed a Masonite backdrop inside of the track of the helix. Normally such Masonite is installed as fascia outside of the track, thus hiding the track inside of the fascia. But installing it as I have done will allow me to easily access the track. I am also working on the upper level. The slot cut into this level is for vertical supports for the scenic divider between the two sides of the upper level, as you will see in a moment. In this photo, I've installed the middle level of the helix. This level is supported by small L brackets. I have also begun to install the vertical supports for the scenic divider. Note that I've used a Woodland Scenics 2% incline on the lowest level of the helix. The 2% grade for the middle and upper levels of the helix will be set by measuring up from the Woodland Scenics incline. Doing this makes it fairly easy to maintain the 2% grade all the way up the helix. Eventually I realized that the upper level of the helix was too short to build any kind of meaningful yard at Evanston. So I decided to extend the peninsula by 18 inches and widen it in part by 6 inches. Let me show you how I did this. To lengthen the peninsula, I began by building the supporting benchwork. As I had done in the previous benchwork, I varnished it to make it look like nice furniture. I don't plan to hide the benchwork behind skirting. Here I've installed the sub-roadbed for the extension. I put some of the old track in its previous location so that you can see the big difference in the radius of the curve. The radius of the new inner track is 13 3/4 inches and the outer track is 15 inches. Now I've begun to lay some of the yard tracks at Evanston. This was my third and hopefully final attempt to build a useful yard at Evanston, thanks to the 18-inch extension of the peninsula. As you can see here, I have extended the scenic divider, but have done very little to create the town and industries at Evanston. Here I've done some work on the structures for Evanston, but most of the work still has to be done. me, there's absolutely no question about it. The open western helix is far better than the troublesome eastern helix. I've certainly learned something from building both kinds of helices, and that is, if I must have a helix on my layout, then I want it to be an open one so that I have easy access to the track and so that I can continue to watch my trains even when they are running in the helix. If you are thinking of putting a helix on your layout, then you may want to consider building an open one. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, I invite you to click on the thumbs up button. And if you're here for the first time, I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy railroading. I will see you again very soon.